What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1093 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today so far. I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. We got an algorithm update on X.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that. I saw you posting about that. Tell me about what's going on.
Huge boost to my self-confidence, really to my ego, to have this update. So basically, I guess the people at X realized you weren't seeing your own mutuals posts on your timeline. So they changed it. And I'm realizing I'm getting all this engagement from my mutuals who I previously assumed just hated me and didn't want to interact with me on X anymore.
That is perfect. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I hope that they stick with that change because it's much more enjoyable. I will say still not back to its former glory from the Twitter days, but it's an improvement nonetheless. So yeah, we've got that and explosive diarrhea is ravaging the nation. So there are pros and cons.
I'm literally writing out our weekend, our segment schedule before I forget. While you were telling everybody about the algorithm change. I mean, I've never noticed. I have those diehards, right? The homies who they throw you a like, no matter what.
Oh yeah, for me, I'm gonna put him on blast. It's Mason Musso.
That's who gives you the like all the time? Yeah,
he's a real one for that.
I've got a Verbal Riot.
Even though I totally grilled him when he was on PCC, I totally grilled him about his friends and tried to get him to spill the tea.
Yeah.
People said I was doing a Barbara Walters impression, but yeah, super nice guy.
Yeah. It's Verbal Riot for me. He throws me a like no matter what. He's always like, oh man, you're suffering, bro. You need this like here. Here, allow me. Guys, as always, what you could do right now is throw us a like just on this video, not on X. I mean, you could do it on X too if there's something over there. But you should like this video and you should subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you've not subscribed here yet already. You should share the video out with everybody in your life that you like, even the people that you don't like. The more people that you follow and throw this video out to, sharing it out, the more people that see it, the faster our channel can grow. It is fantastic for us when you do that, so thank you guys so much. What are we getting into today? Well, Andy Serkis, hot off the heels of his fantastic performance in Animal Farm as a creative, everybody's on his side right now. They love him. He is speaking about why it's okay that Lord of the Rings is mostly white and male, and he's trying to win the chuds back. That's what he's doing.
And it works. I think it seems that way.
I do believe it's one of those things where if you're being fair, you should, you should report on it when he does something you find positive, and you should report on it when he does something like Animal Farm, and you should try to be as dispassionate as possible about that. So we're going to get into Andy Serkis. It kind of connects to a couple of other stories that have been going on in the news. I got a $20 super chat here from Weary Traveler. He says, Brett and Mary, and then the heart.
Oh, the heart hands emoji or just a heart?
The emoji. Okay, the heart hands emoji. Yeah.
Love that one.
So thank you so much for that, Weary Traveler. What else? So Dua Lipa, she is not like most girls. She's apparently smart and hot.
Someone clip that, please. I love that.
I would say hot and smart. But
she's not like most girls. She's smart.
Yeah. She believes that it is possible to be both hot and smart at the same time. She's also apparently a cultural dissident. That's why she is promoting her banned book club full of books on the New York Times bestseller list. So
yes, The Handmaid's Tale is a banned book.
Yeah. The reason I said hot and smart is because we were joking about it beforehand, because this was something that was said beforehand, right? We're they said I can't be hot and smart.
But I'm both. Even though men think that I can't be both, I am both, and they're just misogynistic assholes.
I regret not going into teaching, so I could have been throwing out all sorts of like you're never gonna make it. Just give up now.
Anything.
Not because I think they're gonna fail, but because they need somebody. It's like I need to be the villain for them in their story, and it's actually out of support for them.
I'll be the fucking villain in your story. Just don't forget you're the one who put me there. That's me.
So, we're going to talk about Dua Lipa's banned book club full of books you can buy at Barnes & Noble. Also, you know, you've heard, who was it that went to Washington? Was it Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Beats me.
Okay. Clavicular goes to Israel. That's what we're going to talk about today. He was over there.
Shill.
Yeah, he's apparently a Zionist shill now, and he's in the news as always. So we're going to talk about Clavicular. Also, Cyclospora. I have no idea why Mary wants to talk about this so bad, but she's really excited to talk about Taco Bell hell.
I'm the hipster of Cyclospora. I've been talking about this for like a month now, and no one will listen to me, but I swear, like, this has the potential to seriously affect our lives in the coming weeks or months. Just beware and know that I was woke on it. Before anyone else was willing to issue a warning, I was woke on Cyclospora and telling you want to do everything in your power to avoid this, because it's way worse than anything they even told you that COVID was.
So we got that. We got some other stuff. It's going to be a good show. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's talk about how Andy Serkis is winning back the chuds.
Yes. So after the disastrous reception of Andy Serkis's Animal Farm movie, he is winning back the good graces of the right-wing Twitter chuds. And he did so in an interview related to the most recent installment of the Lord of the Rings franchise, which is The Hunt for Gollum, which is, I mean, I think a lot of people know, pretty irrelevant to the source material. It was something that was only briefly mentioned in one of the books, but they've expanded it into an entire movie because they just have to keep it chugging along. And
well, they did that with Rings of Power.
Commentary.
They did that with Rings of Power.
Exactly. Yeah. So his commentary was related to this new movie, but also the original trilogy, because it has received backlash over the years for not having diverse enough casting. So they say it feels appropriate that our interview is happening virtually. He is speaking from New Zealand, where he is directing and starring in the next Lord of the Rings film, The Hunt for Gollum, scheduled to land in cinemas in time for Christmas next year. He says it sits between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies and books. In fact, it can be difficult to keep up with the ever-expanding Tolkien verse. It's very much a deep dive into the psychology and history of Gollum before he became Gollum, but also with a very burning question from Gandalf about what the potential origin of this ring that Bilbo Baggins has is. The hunt takes place in 2 different dimensions, and that's about as far as I can say at the moment. He also confirms he will not be directing the second new Lord of the Rings film, Shadow of the Past, written by Stephen Colbert. Everyone's really excited about that one.
I know I am.
Then they get into what they wanted to bully him about in the interview, of course. They say throughout his career, Andy Serkis has been a campaigner for equality. In 2018, he said that being one of the few white actors in Black Panther gave him a new understanding of what it feels like to be the ethnic minority on a film set. I just know he was invited to the cookout. However, the previous Lord of the Rings films, made before colorblind casting became common.
Do you want to
let's pause for dramatic effect?
Do you want to stop there and unpack that comment? So look, I think that anybody with half of a brain cell, or maybe even like a quarter of a brain cell in their head, understands that colorblind casting can't be done at a time when one of the most important aspects of casting a character these days is whether you're meeting the right amount of quotas for various diverse casting agendas. Therefore, that's not colorblind casting. In fact, you can make the argument that that's impossible again because the left got what they wanted, and they got wide-scale racial consciousness, not just with a lot of the audience these days, but also with the creatives. I mean, that was always one of the perspectives of the creatives. It was really funny. I was reading a comment yesterday on the episode we did with Vera, and somebody was pointing out that basically it's like, I'm going to go see The Odyssey, but I'm also willing to accept that a lot of what you see from Hollywood is cultural Marxism. Now, that is inherently true. Now, it's our job in a lot of ways to interact with the material, but also in the real world, a lot of people interact with things and people that they disagree with on a regular basis. And I can acknowledge when somebody who may have a different worldview than me creates something that I want to see. That remains to be seen yet for the Odyssey. I'm going to see it tomorrow. But when it comes to stuff like this, I don't know if he is being disingenuous, or I'm sorry, so the writer is being disingenuous, or if they're really just that uninformed, given the fact that it's a BBC article. I'm willing to bet that they're being disingenuous and they understand that that's not what colorblind casting is.
Well, I'm also confused because I've heard for years that color blindness is actually a form of racism itself. So there's a bit of a contradiction in terms, but that's what they're calling the current day status quo for casting directors is colorblind casting. It's obviously the opposite, but they said the previous films had almost entirely white lineups, and so far, this new film looks like being the same. Every major cast member announcement to date has been white. Jamie Dornan, Anya Taylor-Joy, Kate Winslet, Leo Woodall, as well as the returning stars Elijah Wood and Ian McKellen. The question is, why? Andy Serkis nods his head before answering, and it is clear this is a subject he has given a lot of thought.
Yeah, because he knows
so much editorializing here, like trying to read his mind.
Because he knows that question is coming. He better have a good answer.
So he said, he didn't have a very good answer at first, by the way. He said Tolkien himself was influenced by a lot of Norse mythology. There's a lot of that feeling. The Shire feels very, very much like a very white, you know, ... He tails off and pauses before continuing with greater certainty. They're not very concerned about what goes on beyond the borders of the Shire, but they know they don't want people coming in. Yes, there have been criticisms. He acknowledges arguments that are now almost a quarter of a century old. This particular film is somewhat acknowledging that, but I don't think we will be doing a politically correct, just casting for the sake of casting and ticking boxes version of the film.
It is interesting that
it's where relevant, basically.
It is interesting that he accepted the fact that what they're doing is a form of political correctness rather than just simply what they would call the right thing.
I love this snippet. The Shire feels very, very much like a very white, you know. I love that so much. Look, they're white, okay? That's why the cast is white.
It's also why
the characters are white.
It's also why there shouldn't need to be any white characters in Moana.
And like, I know this is being framed as like Andy Serkis shut them down, but really, like, he's still trying to hedge and like kind of couch it, and it's like, no, you know, you would have been better off just saying like, this is a story about mostly white people. It's part of European folklore. It was written by a white man. It was inspired by other European folklore about white people. That's why the cast is white. Next question. It should have been more to the point, and he should have been more prepared for that question. I don't think that he had given that enough thought, that he was going to be cornered on it.
Probably thought they wouldn't give him that question because he's one of the in-group.
And they do say further cast announcements are expected in the coming months for The Hunt for Gollum, but hopefully they don't rewrite everything and panic at the last minute and add a bunch of quota characters, but it sounds like they're panicking. They also did get a little bit into the backlash for Animal Farm, which is probably a different segment entirely if we were to get into that in depth. But he is acknowledging that it didn't perform very well in the box office, of course. I think it got $5.5 million on a budget of $35 million. And he kind of blamed it on the audience in the United States, which is not the right move. I mean, you could just say that you missed the mark, or you could say that you had higher hopes for it.
I thought that my anti-capitalist version of Animal Farm would resonate better, except for the people that it resonates with don't have money and don't go see movies.
They also interestingly mentioned that the 1954 Animal Farm movie was surreptitiously funded by the CIA, and asked him if it's possible that Andy Serkis's modern Animal Farm movie was also surreptitiously funded by the CIA, and he categorically denied that idea. Although at the time, the co-directors of the 1954 film had no idea that was happening.
He's like, I did get some funding from a company called like Elite Film Inc., which has never made a movie before and has not made a movie since. Yeah. And I'm just going to not ask where I by the way, I made that up, guys. It's not a real thing. I'm just saying, like, funding comes in from some random place and he's like, I'll take it.
But if the CIA did surreptitiously fund Andy Serkis's movie, he would have no idea. So he doesn't really.
Yeah.
I mean, he could deny it, but it's possible. That is all we know.
I love it when the CIA funds stuff. That's when you get great segments from like FBI, like ASACs and CIA officers saying things like relevant to U.S. interests. Mm-hmm. And then they just get to tell you what those U.S. interests are in the movie.
Well, at the time, of course, it was to fight communism. But nowadays, I don't know what motivation the CIA would have to fund Andy Serkis's version of the story, which is more about tech autocrats than it is about communist dictators.
Depends on which, they're look, you got to leave Sam Altman out of it because we're going to work with Sam Altman. If you want to dunk on Elon Musk, fine, as long as you don't make anything about like space, because we still work with him when it comes to going to outer space. But, otherwise you're free to dunk on him.
Back to the conversation about diversity, though, I wanted to call back to a long read in Compact Magazine that came out in December last year titled The Lost Generation by Jacob Savage. And I have not had the time to read it in full, but what I know is it's about the systematized approach to pushing white men out of writers' rooms in Hollywood. And that took place about 15 years ago. And I recently saw a post about this article saying about 15 years ago, a lot of women started writing movies. This is almost exactly when movies stopped being good. I used to watch a lot of movies, and right around that time, they got bad, and I stopped watching them. Lauren Chen pointed out white male writers went from 60% in 2011 to 11.9% in 2026. This is why TV sucks now. Hollywood stopped rewarding talent in favor of DEI hires. And it is worth mentioning that perhaps where diversity matters the least is behind the camera, not in front of it.
I also don't know. So according to the Writers Guild of America, there might be a distinction there for what percentage of that are Jewish and whether they consider them white or not in those statistics.
Or how they would respond on a survey.
Yes.
Sure.
According to the Writers Guild of America, 45.4% of the television series employment is dominated from writers is 45%. So, total employment for television is white writers. Now that doesn't designate between men and women.
It said in 2014, white men directed 69% of TV episodes, and then just 34% by the year 2021. But the remaining third went overwhelmingly to established names, leaving little space for younger white men. So the door has been closed to white men in Hollywood behind the scenes, writing stories. Mm-hmm. And I do feel comfortable just saying that my opinion is white men write better stories than everyone else. That's my opinion. You can agree with it or disagree with it, but...
This is a 2024 employment overview. Now, this is from the Writers Guild of America, so, take that with a grain of salt as far as the reporting and everything. Women make up... This is of the 2024 TV series writers. Women made up 45% of that. Men made up 52%, and non-binary made up a sub 1%. But then when you get into racial demographics, BIPOC, which just means they put literally everybody else, makes up 40%. White makes up 45%. Unknown makes up 14%. BIPOC women make up 22.2%. BIPOC men, 17.4%. White women, 18%. White men, 26.9%. So those numbers don't jive entirely, but, you know, make of that what you will. Everybody will kind of come to their own conclusions. The point is, it's lower than it used to be.
And I think that is a travesty.
I do think that there's a fair argument to be made that that's around the time when things started to shift away from what people did. But also, I sometimes think that we were in such a golden age that it was untenable.
Perhaps,
and I also make the point all the time on the show. I said, look, the other thing that happened was it wasn't just that they started fundamentally pushing out people based on racial demographics. Another thing that happened was streaming services exploded. And the amount of content getting made like quadrupled for a period of time. For a long period of time, everything started to expand, especially during COVID. And there is a finite resource of how many actually talented people there are. And then they started giving more people opportunities, perhaps in that process, leaving out people who could have been more in line with the previous generation of really talented writers rather than people with no specific track record, but the right identity characteristics.
I also want to point out that this isn't all just quotas and institutional measures that were taken to push white men out of writers' rooms, out of Hollywood. Even if you removed all of those quotas overnight and reversed all of the damage done, you wouldn't get rid of the attitudes that people hold in 2026. They would still hire in a way that excludes white men because they hate white men. So it's more of a cultural issue now than anything.
I actually see a more depressing statistic here is that only 15% of the writers are over the age of 55. And sometimes I wonder, it's like you need people that have lived a life and have a certain amount of perspective, especially with a specific type of story being told. And perhaps the problem is and that's the other thing. Back in the day, the stories that got told were made by people who lived a life beforehand. There used to be a large amount of writers that served in the military. Actors that served in the military, either because they were drafted because it was like the Vietnam era or something like that, but it tied into a worldview that was seemingly more complete and less elitist and college-based, meaning that now, not just the writers, but also the actors, they go to elite schools, they go to elite drama schools, and then they make their way to Hollywood. And they don't really have the real world experience to draw from, which perhaps is why they're unable to put anything into these characters that feels like they're actually pulling something from it. They rely heavily on consultants and stuff like that. But even then, you know, it doesn't necessarily always translate.
So on the age thing, I do think there needs to be a place for younger writers to come up in the industry. And I think there's less upward mobility there, especially for young white men, heterosexual men.
I have my own bias when it comes when I watch TV shows now and I look at the actors that are coming up. Now, it could just be fuddy-duddy, you know, old man shakes his, you know, fist at the clouds, but they just don't seem to have the charisma that the average television actor 20 to 25 years ago possesses. In fact, most of the time, those actors are still working and they still outshine most of the younger actors, and they're usually better looking.
Yeah, there's a serious drought of traditionally handsome actors.
No, there isn't. There's a significant drought of them being hired. They still exist.
That's also true. But I do think there might be other factors involved in that. Delayed puberty, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Something's in the water. We're all, you know, we have like microplastics in our brains. Something's seriously off.
Like, you watch a lot of those actors that really, really thrived on network TV back in the late 90s into the early 2000s, and most of them are still working, and they're still the best part of whatever episode they're in. They're too old usually, unless it's some type of political drama or something. They're not the right age anymore to be like the stars of those shows. But even then, a lot of the procedurals and stuff, they're aging up the people that are like the main culprits or the main people in the episodes, because they just don't want to hire any of the younger people, because either they're not good or they just, I don't know.
Well, that's what I saw in response to the rumor that Scarlett Johansson is coming back to play Poison Ivy.
Y'all don't have any new white girls?
Y'all got any new white bitches? Like, what's going on there?
Well, they do. They have Sydney Sweeney, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you and I know that that's not true. There's like Anya Taylor-Joy is on the younger side, right? She's in her late 20s, or am I wrong about that? Like, yeah, they exist. They exist. Odessa Azion.
Sure. Great.
That's
the best we can do.
That's the best we can do these days. It's like yesterday. We were like, can we pass the Save America Act? Best I can do is no daylight savings time. Just the best. Well, or like, no, permanent daylight savings time. Yeah, it's sad, and I don't think you'll ever get back to that. Once you institutionalize this much of the creative process, it doesn't get relinquished at any meaningful rate.
Anyways, let us know in the chat if you have forgiven Andy Serkis for Animal Farm because of these recent comments.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Ariana Grande.
Yeah, it's pretty clear at this point that all Ariana Grande cares about is starving herself, tweezing her eyebrows, and riding the you-know-what carousel. It was recently reported that she has rekindled her relationship with ex-boyfriend Ricky Alvarez just less than a month after her breakup with her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater, for whom she divorced her husband, and vice versa. He divorced his wife, leaving her with the baby. It was a whole tragic mess that was appearing to be all her fault, but she's just walked away from the wreckage and immediately found a new man because she is incapable of being single and has a very unstable identity. And I think that her body image issues are intrinsically linked with her insane behavior as it relates to dating and relationships. This recent relationship is only the most recent example of that, but this was a backup dancer of hers who she dated for about a year in 2015. And she actually referenced him in the song Thank You Next. There was a line that says, wrote some songs about Ricky, now I listen and laugh. And as she's been on tour lately, she has changed that lyric to sound more positive. Like, she says, like, we always find our way back or something. Like, she just like is trying to softly launch their relationship again to her fans.
This is like if Sneeko and Scooter Braun were one person.
And they dated at a time in her life when she was definitely at a healthier weight. So hopefully that will return. One of the first things she did when they started talking again was she hit up Whole Foods and did this whole like paparazzi moment in the streets in Florida with her Whole Foods bags, showing everyone that she so totally eats, even though like I can't imagine that a celebrity of her status actually grocery shops for herself.
You open all the bags and it's all the stuff from like the knick-knack aisle that, you know, all the stuff you can buy. It's like sandals and beach towels and
salt and pepper. Yeah. And a fan pointed out, in less than 5 years, Ariana has gotten married, divorced, entered a secret homoerotic relationship with her co-star, that being Cynthia Erivo, got with a married man who had a baby on the way, left him, and got back with her ex.
She's speed running.
This is what she always does. And people did reference her relationship with Pete Davidson that was also short-lived, saying this was such a BPD relationship because why did Ariana have Pete's dead daddy's chain necklace and badge number tattooed on her feet? For context, Pete Davidson's dad, I believe, died during 9/11. Yeah. And when they briefly dated, that's when she got this tattoo. It's very similar to how Pete Davidson got tattoos of Kim Kardashian's children's names on his body. When they briefly dated, these toxic people always attract each other. But of course, that relationship, like all the others, didn't last. People also noticed that Ariana had a recent brief interaction with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco at the Golden Globes, where she rebuffed Benny Blanco's attempt to kiss her on the cheek. And someone said, do you know how ugly you would have to be for Ariana Grande to actually avoid a married man? This is one of her bizarre fetishes. She just loves going for men who are taken, but even Benny Blanco is so repugnant.
A bridge too far.
That was just, beyond the pale for her, which is saying something. But related to her recent weight loss and her fans being worried about her well-being, her ability to perform, wanted to show some of the photos and videos from her tour lately. This one being the worst example. I think it's just, this is the one that would be on like the Time magazine cover if she died. This is dystopian, as her fan put it. You see the crowd of people in the background screaming and jeering as she is posing in the dramatic lighting that really highlights her pronounced ribs all over her chest.
Yeah.
And it's giving Black Swan vibes. They're literally eating her with their eyes. It's disgusting. In this other one, you see a side-by-side comparison where she's in a similar position in both photos, one at a healthy weight and one that was taken recently on tour. She looks like a Holocaust victim. One fan said, every night she looks worse and worse. She truly needs help before she collapses on stage. They're saying she's not able to move the same way she used to.
I cannot imagine being able to do the physical exertion that it takes to do that.
Yeah.
Without, like literally, I cannot do this show unless I eat like right before we go live. Because like we'll be in the middle of the show and I also want to tell everybody to F off because I want to go eat something.
Yeah, in most of these cases where people take an eating disorder to its extreme, they either don't have jobs or responsibilities in the first place, or as they descend, they lose those things. And if they decide to recover, it has to be because they value things other than chasing after this unattainable goal, like having a job, having a social life, having a relationship, or being a student, whatever it may be. She, on the other hand, is in such a unique position because she hires other people to do most of the mundane things that we have to do ourselves on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
She has people doing her hair and her makeup, and she has backup dancers. She has teams of hundreds of people working to make Ariana Grande, and she kind of fades into the background most of the time, despite being the star of the show. In another photo from her tour, you see one of her costumes has a built-in lace choker attached to the dress she's wearing. And it is clearly hanging off of her neck. That's how much she has shrunk, at least since she last got a costume fitting. And then you can also see that she hires some backup dancers who are morbidly obese, which I feel is it's a choice. I mean, I think that she wants to look small in comparison to everyone else around her.
Yeah.
You know, not that it's unheard of to have fat backup dancers. Everyone does it, but and including Lizzo. But that just feels like a pointed choice that she made for how she presents herself. And part of this also is sort of age regression. She doesn't want to be held accountable for anything she does or says. And she does tend to present herself in a very childlike way, including in this photo where she's like doing this little doe-eyed pose in the camera with a lollipop in her mouth and like a dress that looks like it's for a little girl. And like only one of those things being in a normal selfie wouldn't be anything to remark at. It's just the convergence of all of these circumstances is too much to ignore.
Yeah.
And on the same day that she took this photo, actually, she was captured in a candid shot petting a dog. And she did end up posting that photo on Instagram, unfortunately. it showed her top basically open from the angle that it was taken, and her whole tit was in the photo. Like everything. Stuff that you're not allowed to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And people were like, did you intend to post that? Or did that just not catch your attention because you're functioning at such a low mental state that you don't have the ability to even check what it is that you're posting before you send? Like, it's unclear, but I think she's probably head in the clouds and detached from reality at this point. Now, there was a fan of hers.
So what, do you mean like when she's on stage, it's just autopilot?
I think a lot of it is, yeah. I think that she's kind of just coasting as much as possible because there's no way someone can perform at the top of their game at this deteriorated state. A fan of hers tried to run cover for her in this post related to Somber. They usually do damage control on her behalf. And they said, I hate double standards because why is Ariana heavily crucified when Somber is skin and bones? And of course, it's because the standards are different when we're talking about a 19-year-old boy and a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe that Somber is actually what they would call naturally skinny, whereas she is not. And
his arms are really skinny. Even for a skinny person, his arms are really skinny.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is underweight for sure. I wouldn't go as far as to say that that's intentional. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. There is a different standard as well for someone with a much larger platform and a larger fan base consisting of mostly young, impressionable girls and women. And yeah, they are definitely not just running cover for her eating disorder and denying it. They're also imitating her. And that brings us to a conversation about Paige Neiman. So let's get into Paige Neiman. She is a young woman who began impersonating Ariana Grande as a minor. She is now 22 years old, so she's been at this for a very long time. And it's the entire reason why she has a following. She has been doing everything in her power to imitate Ariana Grande's voice and her outfits and her makeup and her hair, her style. But also her body weight. Paige Neiman has lost weight at a similar rate to Ariana Grande over the years in order to continue mirroring her. And Paige Neiman also, when she turned 18, started an OnlyFans because she knew there would be an audience for that amongst people who simp after Ariana Grande. And I think that is obviously something that she did knowingly, but it's hard to place all of the blame on her when she started this out and gained a following as a 15-year-old. Now, at the time, she claims she received a DM from Ariana Grande at 15 years old. And Ariana said, I am flattered and I'm sure you're very sweet, but I just wanted you to know I looked back a little ways on your page, and I think someone should tell you, if they haven't today, that you're very beautiful as yourself, without all the makeup and trying to make your face look more similar to someone else's and whatnot. I had to say it because it is the truth. Always do what makes you happy, of course, but if I didn't say that to you, I would regret it. You're beautiful as you are. Take care. So this was shared in a documentary that Paige Neiman is producing about herself, and it's called Turning the Page. And it's going to Amazon Prime, actually. I believe they're producing it.
Right next to the Melania documentary. You can watch them both in the same day.
So TMZ recently conducted an interview with Paige Neiman, and this DM she received came up. So this was her response to it, saying she felt misled by the tone that Ariana took in that message years ago.
Here we go.
Can you walk us through like what went through your mind when you saw that DM in your inbox? It was definitely an unexpected moment, and it reminded me that the public perception.
I'm sorry, I know this is an aside, but that whoever puts like a bouquet of flowers actually covering part of the TV, straight to jail. Okay,
Didn't notice that.
I'm sorry. Continue, Paige.
Doesn't always reflect the full story. The point of showing the DM was to show the kindness and the love in the private message versus the more shadier interactions that happened afterwards on social media, and how that affected me at only 15 years old. Now, I think people are spreading their own narrative to try to make me look bad. They're not sharing the full messages between me and her that are shown in the series, where at the end of her message, she tells me to have all the fun. You know, she never said to stop or that it makes her uncomfortable. And, you know, at the time, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, and maybe I even felt led on in some ways.
Okay.
So she's not really saying much of anything. I mostly noticed that she is completely imitating Ariana Grande's speech cadence and her speech patterns, like, to a T. And that's another thing. Because Ariana Grande doesn't have an identity in the first place, she's constantly chasing after the next Ariana Grande that Ariana is creating. So she's become like 10 different people over the last 10 years. And this impersonator is constantly trying to copy Ariana's next move. And they're in a weird sort of symbiotic relationship. I want to show the trailer for Turning the Page. She said, "This project is so incredibly special to me, and I'm beyond excited to finally share it with you all. For years, people have known me from the internet. Now you get to see who I am beyond the headlines and social media."
Okay, here we go.
Paige Neiman.
Ariana Grande lookalike Paige Newman.
Paige Neiman.
Ariana Grande confronts her impersonator.
Story time on my reality show. Fuck TikTok.
She's been trying to look like Ariana for years.
A lot of people share stories about who they think I am.
Dr. Bruno, nice to meet you.
You don't have to prove anything to them unless you feel like you need to.
Now it's my turn to share my story.
How do you think the modeling world is going to react? Do you think they're going to accept you?
I don't know.
She's been trying to look like her for years.
And I'm tired of Carrie.
You and Ariana have had conversations?
Yeah.
You can't take how serious it is.
I know.
Your life is about to change, right?
I haven't seen you in 3 years. I didn't want to get this version of you. I just need a second.
Paige just ran off for production.
Where's Paige? Is she alone or with someone? I'm gonna go find her.
That was so stupid.
There you have it. And, you know, it's incredibly sad what has happened to this girl. I don't say that to absolve her of all of her own personal accountability, but you can see this is what happens to people that grow up on social media. Like, she's just a microcosm of a larger trend, and she's not the only Ariana Grande impersonator that's out there, and I've seen several. She's just the most famous one. She's getting extensive plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures to imitate Ariana Grande. Just has no identity whatsoever.
Can she sing? Does she know how to sing?
I don't think so. I think she just takes her clothes off for money. As far as I know.
So
but
she did everything but the one thing that you had to actually learn how to do.
Yeah.
Right.
There's this one still from the trailer that a fan posted saying she must be editing her photos like crazy because she looks nothing like Ariana when she is caught off guard. And it is unfortunately true. But that's the thing, like, with all of these pop stars, it's like, it's hard to parse out, like, how responsible are you for, oh yeah, and she looks more like Ethan Slater than Ariana. That is true. in that still at least. It's like, how responsible are you for the behavior of your fans? You know, that's still an open question.
Well, I mean, she even said she had to like qualify her statement in her message to her. She's like, do what you want, of course.
Yeah.
But, like, the more forceful version, it's like, you don't have an identity of your own. You're being weird, you know?
Yeah, but it's kind of hypocritical for Ariana to even call her out for that, because she's guilty of these same exact things.
Still good advice. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Doesn't make it right, but definitely better advice than like, oh, keep being weird about me if you want, but...
Yeah. Be happy. Do what makes you happy.
That was I can't get over how serious the music. Whoever edited that trailer doesn't understand, you know, the importance of tone when it comes to producing their movies, because that looked like I was about to watch the next Michael Bay movie, not a movie about a weird OnlyFans model who pretends to be a pop star. Very weird.
Yeah.
All right. What would you like to see, the cringe or the cute?
Let's see the cringe first today.
How bad is today's?
It's not terrible. I think it's more funny than cringe, but depending on your relationship history, this might trigger you.
It says, New York City with your girlfriend who hates you.
Sick of walking everywhere. Too expensive? Can you just hire us a car? Slow down. This is like the number 3 bagel in New York. You're not gonna eat all yours, right? Oh, it smells like shit. Is that you? Oh my God, look, a rat. Look, it's stuff you haven't seen before. Why are you on your phone? It's like you don't appreciate when we go to a new place. You're just like absorbed by stalks. I'm way too hot. I'm sweating. Smell it. Why don't you want to smell my sweat? I don't want to go into the subway. It's dirty. I was thinking we could just spend the day like shopping. Did you bring your Amex? Fuck, I'm sweating. It smells bad. Can you buy me a New York slice? Why are you looking at her? Watch out! I think that's the guy from the bear. Go ask for his signature. Wait, I need to look it. Go the fuck away. Go the fuck away. We couldn't have stayed at the Ritz? You know what? At least there's a nice view. I'm gonna sleep in my room, okay? There's bed bugs. I'm sick.
And he just puts up with it. Also that she can get the photo of like holding his hand while he takes the picture.
I've also seen a different version of this that she does, which is like your girlfriend before she hated you. And there are all of these guys in the comments who are like, fuck, this is so relatable.
All right. Let's do the cute of the day. I saved this one from Bookstore Thor.
Aww.
Phineas heard that Mary Archived likes blue-eyed cats and wanted to introduce himself.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful blue eyes. We love this Aryan cat.
It is a very cute. And
he looks very fluffy.
And so properly mannered with his hands all, with his paws all pushed in like that. That's very nice.
He is a professional.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Let's talk about Dua Lipa, because in a world full of banned books that you can buy at Barnes & Noble, Dua Lipa is here to save the day.
Yes, Dua Lipa believes herself to be an intellectual powerhouse, not just a pop star or a celebrity. And that's why she recently opened her own library filled with banned books such as The Handmaid's Tale. So this is a collaboration between her book club, which is called Service 95. She's been running it for some years now, and a larger bookstore in Portugal called Livraria Lelo. And this piece in Cosmo about the launch of her banned book library really says it all about who this is, who the target demographic is. As a certified book girly, I'm obsessed with Dua Lipa. Back in 2023, she launched a book club as part of her Service 95 platform. And now, 3 years later, she has her own library in the famous bookstore Livraria Lelo in Porto, Portugal. The library, which is called the Manifesto Library, has 100 books on its shelves that were once banned or controversial. And in case you don't immediately get it, that's kind of a big deal. Here's everything you need to know. Though Dua has been booked and busy as of late, she's still just as committed to promoting reading. She does this with her international Service 95 book club, but also her own channels. Most recently, her book club announced that she has curated her own library in collaboration with Livraria Lello. Sounds cool, but it's not just a few of Dua's favorite beach reads. In the announcement, it's explained how the Manifesto Library is a space dedicated to books that challenge power, resist censorship, and amplify the voices that others seek to silence. So there are 100 books around 4 key themes, those being power, control, voice, and memory. All of the titles were once banned or censored, but in Dua's library, they're now celebrated. Now, take the term banned or censored with a large grain of salt, because many of these are international bestsellers that are available on all publishing platforms, and none of them, from what I can tell, have any point of view that is controversial these days. But they include among the list, let's see, A Clockwork Orange, Animal Farm is on it. Let's see, Brave New World.
I see Genderqueer is on there.
Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, you're right, Genderqueer. They also included Milk and Honey, the poetry book by Rupi Kaur, which is sold at Urban Outfitters. That's great. What else? Let's see. A
lot of these I admit that I have not heard of.
The Book Thief.
Oh my goodness,
Games.
The Hunger Games!
The Hunger Games.
No way!
Yeah, I don't know when or why the Hunger Games got banned or censored, but there you have it.
I'll tell you why. Because evil men found out that Jennifer Lawrence was the first ever female action star, and their misogyny wanted to prevent people from learning that fact. So in banning the movies, they also had to ban the books.
We've also got To Kill a Mockingbird, you know, the thing that all of us read in middle school. This book is gay. We've got one from Trevor Noah. It was like Born a Crime or something. I forget what it was. But yeah, these are the books that Dua Lipa has chosen to showcase, saying they resist censorship and challenge power. In one of the Instagram announcements, they posted about the launch party, saying to celebrate the Manifesto Library inauguration, we gathered inside of Europe's most storied bookshops for a special book tasting, exploring 4 titles from the collection, each representing of its core themes. So 1984 representing power, The Handmaid's Tale representing control, My Pen is the Wing of a Bird representing voice, and Patriot representing memory. Accompanied by thoughtfully paired Portuguese wines, the evening opened up conversations around censorship, resistance, and the importance of preserving voices that challenge power and refuse to be silenced. Thank you to everyone who joined us and make it such a memorable evening.
My Pen is the Wing of a Bird. That
was one of the titles.
Is the most pretentious name I've ever heard in my entire life. And it should be banned. Just on the basis that its name sucks. Ban it.
The marketing of this book club and of the launch party for her library is in line with a lot of marketing trends I've seen about prioritizing like real life events, and not documenting the moments where you are offline. So there's a lot of social cachet attached to doing things that are analog, like reading books. But as one person quote tweeting her announcement said, no shade to Dua Lipa, but being impressed by banned books is one of the strongest signs of functional cultural illiteracy. And none of them are banned because they're too right-wing, of course. This meme showed Dua Lipa posing with the bell curve that was, of course, not included in the manifesto library. I made a joke that I can't wait to read Camp of the Saints at the Dua Lipa library, because that would have been an actual example of a book that is banned and censored in 2026. In fact, there is a longer piece about its politically charged history in the American Conservative that came out last month. And there is currently a publisher in North Carolina who co-founded the publishing house Vauban Books. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, which specializes in French dissident literature. So Amazon briefly delisted the 2025 English translation of The Camp of the Saints because it is a dystopian novel about the downfall of Western civilization following an invasion by nearly 1 million impoverished Indian migrants on the southern coast of France. So, according to its synopsis, it explores how liberal guilt, humanitarian ideals, and political indecision paralyze Western governments and societies, rendering them unable to defend their borders and cultural identity against what the book frames as an overwhelming demographic invasion. So that's an example of a book that actually would belong in a banned book library, not The Handmaid's Tale, which is basically a glorified romantasy novel for women who secretly fantasize about men controlling their bodies.
Of which they have made 6 seasons of a television show about.
Yes.
Or some amount therein.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this is purely performative. I'm sure you guys could have guessed.
So, okay. So, you know, tell me about this. Is it just current year? Now, Oprah always had a book club, right? That was a thing, but she was also like a television host, and it was very different than being a pop star, I suppose. I mean, she also acted and stuff like that, but is there just this subset of performers now that have to have book clubs because they feel it separates them from other celebrities like their own age?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know how long ago, we did cover this in a more general sense, that a bunch of celebrities are hosting book clubs for their fan bases. That's not just Dua Lipa, but also there's Reese Witherspoon, Chrissy Teigen, Shonda Rhimes, Emma Roberts.
You know what?
Aya Gerber, Emma Watson, Mindy Kaling, Dakota Johnson.
If we are talking from somebody like a Shonda Rhimes, who's a showrunner and a writer, that might actually be interesting. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything of any great variety, but I do think if somebody is a successful writer, it's kind of interesting what they choose to read. I don't think about what Dua Lipa reads. I don't think about what any of those people read. Is it great that they do? Sure, I guess. Literacy is a great thing. Mary would disagree, but, you know.
Mass literacy is not a great thing.
But the point being, you know, I can understand why Shonda Rhimes or a TV show runner and writer would have a book club. I can't imagine why a pop star would, other than it's like some sort of subset of their branding.
That's exactly it. It's just another vertical for, having a form of passive income, gaining trust with your audience, being an influencer. It also listed Sarah Jessica Parker, Natalie Portman. There are tons of examples of this. Dua Lipa has an especially popular one, though. And I feel like they're kind of sexualizing the concept of reading. I mean, maybe it's not Dua Lipa's fault, but I've seen a lot of photo shoots as of late where women are scantily clad and posting photos with books as accessories for their thirst traps.
You don't put on your little black dress to go to the bookstore?
They're also like making fashion accessories related to reading, the concept of reading, not actually reading. Like there's this new line of Coach purses that come with keychain miniature books.
I think
this was just an accessory. It's a Lububu that has words in it.
LeBron James should start a book club called Page One Book Club, since he's always being photographed reading the first page of a book.
I'm surprised that he hasn't done that already, honestly.
He should do that.
But yeah, it's just a kind of a cute lifestyle accessory, not something you're actually supposed to.
It's an aesthetic where it's like, oh, I need something to post on my Instagram today. I know, I'll go out by the pool and take a picture of a book sitting on my knee.
Right, exactly. It's like reading isn't the trend. Books as accessories are the trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like trad wife, you know, like baking bread on Instagram is the trend. Being a wife and a mother is not the trend in and of itself. Like it's more about the thing that's easy to consume, which is a photo of a woman in a bikini reading a book.
I did
not
see
actually reading a book.
Like a meme the other day. It says like women will drizzle chocolate on strawberries one time, and their Instagram page is Treats by Tara.
It's like a costume. I mean, this is what I was saying about women who went to law school after watching Legally Blonde. Like, you can't conceive of yourself outside of a Halloween costume paradigm where, like, I'm going to be a sexy lawyer. I'm going to be a sexy woman who reads books. Like, they say that we can't be hot and smart at the same time, while all of those misogynistic pigs are going to be proven wrong when I post this bikini photo with a book over my crotch.
So,
like, you're not owning anybody.
The funny thing is like maybe the most unrealistic thing. So we, at one point, me and Olivia had the Hallmark Channel, and one of the ones we would watch are the Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries. And I was like, there's no way this many people in a small town go to book club once a week. Don't buy it. Sorry.
In a small town, I would believe it.
No. Look, there was way too many young people at this book club. If you want to show me a bunch of like old ass dusty people who look like they got one foot in the grave at the book club, sure. But it was all a bunch of 20-somethings. I'm like, you're a cop. Don't you have to be at work? Isn't it, not her, but like this other character. I'm like, your job, historically, is to be at work for 12 hours a day and to come home with a bunch of trauma. Okay, you don't go to book club.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So I need to go back and rewatch some of this.
So yeah, not a smart move on Dua Lipa's part.
All right, I'm gonna start a band.
Girlies are loving it.
We should just start saying that we're part of a band podcast club, and like
it's becoming this, like, I don't know. It's like I looked at this woman in who's just like walking down the street recently. She was wearing a shirt that said bookish on it.
Yes.
It's like, why do you need to broadcast to everyone? I mean, obviously you're not broadcasting to everyone that you read books. You're broadcasting to everyone that you read smut on your free time. Nobody needs to know that. Nobody wants to know that. It's just becoming like a form of bragging rights.
Well, is that strictly speaking what that means? It couldn't also mean that they read a bunch of feminist literature as well?
Maybe, but I mean, I'm sure if you looked up the hashtag bookish on TikTok, you're just going to see a bunch of women talking about smut novels.
Well, then that's just one of those, like, if you know, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We've got more stuff to get into. Clavicular goes to Israel.
Yes, Clavicular has been on the Mogging World Tour ever since Paris Fashion Week, and he's calling this geo-maxing. He tweeted out, "My new strategy is geo-maxing. The United States is far too brutal of a dating market to compete in, so I'm going to geo-max to countries with poor economies to mog people." I guess before he made that stop in Thailand, he headed to Israel, and this is highly controversial amongst Zionist influencers, Israelis, and people who consider themselves fans of Clavicular as well. Nobody knows how to interpret this trip. Is he suddenly a shill for Israel? Or according to Zionists, he is tarnishing the reputation of their country.
I think he's got a humiliation fetish.
Why?
Every clip is him they're like, Clavicular tries to lift weights and fails.
Well, this is a particularly bad one. So on his trip to Israel, he picked up a girlfriend whose name is Shira Braun, and she used to work in the IDF spokesperson division.
I mean, don't they all work for the IDF at some point?
They do,
aren't they conscripted?
Her job specifically was to be sort of an influencer for the IDF. And she has been accompanying him throughout his streams during his trip to Israel. And in this clip, she ends up doing pull-ups that he was unable to do. Anyways, Clavicular didn't just go to Israel to Mog and find a girlfriend. He also made this trip to be a foreign diplomat. And he wanted to get in touch with powerful politicians in the Israeli government to help them come up with a plan to rehab their image to Gen Z. He says that he had dinner with the advisors of Benjamin Netanyahu, and he wanted to teach them about looks maxing. They reportedly asked him to do a stream in the gym with Netanyahu, although that doesn't appear to be happening anymore. He's leaving early. We'll get to that in a minute. He said that the advisors told him Bibi Netanyahu has been having a lot of trouble humanizing himself to the younger generation. They think he's old and out of shape. And I don't think that's the primary reason why people hate on Benjamin Netanyahu. I haven't seen anyone. I mean, people make fun of his looks, sure, but that's not really the substance of the problem that people have with him. And he was, you know, out of the kindness of his heart, offering to help Israel's PR. Unfortunately, on a TV interview with an Israeli news reporter, he decided that he was done trying to do them any favors because they were grilling him about the incident that took place in January, where he was kicked out of a nightclub for singing along to HH. If you know, you know. I'm not really going to say that out loud. But here's the moment. Let's watch the first couple minutes of this interview because he turns it around on the interviewer and demands an apology for his behavior.
I need to apologize. Why don't you apologize to me for wasting my time?
You know what everybody in Israel is talking about right now, right?
Well, everyone in Israel is talking about, you know, what we're doing that's good. You know, so for you to kind of start the interview off in like a negative manner doesn't really make sense. You know, we came here after a ceasefire ended in a very unstable state, technically, to kind of show that, you know, Israel's a safe place. So for you to start off in an antagonistic way, I'm really, you know, kind of just confused.
But how can you not talk about
like
the song?
Poor journalist
just tell
tactic. No. So if you're going to be negative, and ask about, you know, like old, you know, situations that are not so positive.
He's literally giving him the why you keep bringing up old shit.
Yeah.
Then I really don't want to talk to you.
Last January is not that old, you know. You got kicked out of a club just because of
right
this.
after I was kicked out of the club, you know, the owner called me and profusely apologized.
That's a lie.
Offered me to come back and comp my entire night. So it was just a mix-up.
No, that's a lie. So why not clean the page?
So why not? So why don't you clean the page and, you know, talk about how much I've done for this country's reputation, because
I mean, what has he done for this country's reputation? Like, I'm guessing that he's not actually moving the needle on Gen Z's opinion of Israel, but that's...
Well, he's like, if you guys had only given me a chance, you would have seen I could have brought people over to your side, but now I'm done.
He's like,
you guys don't appreciate me. And yeah, he asked for an apology for this interviewer wasting his time. I always like a moment where someone refuses to apologize and doesn't bow to the media demanding apologies, as they were doing again. They were just breaking them over the coals for something that happened in January, and he didn't apologize for it at the time and still hasn't. I think
also it sounds like it was set up under false pretenses.
It's not like
they said they were going to interview him about this specific incident, which he might have, at that point, he might have just decided not to do it.
Like, their plan was to basically ambush him with that gotcha question, and he didn't cave to their demands. But this is also very controversial for Israeli influencers at the moment. And according to the Jerusalem Post, this trip that Clavicular has made has exposed a divide in the pro-Israel influencer community. Some influencers have sought to partner with Clavicular to film content, attempting to springboard into his vast audience and taking pride in his presence at a time when Israel is widely seen as a pariah. But others have decried his presence, his content objectifying Israeli women, and the readiness of fellow Jews to overlook his anti-Semitic activity. Jewish influencer Golda Daphna posted a series of Instagram videos criticizing him during his visit. In one, she played a recording in which, after being shown a photo of an Israeli woman, Clavicular says, "Does she want to have sex? Just tell the girls I'm looking to have sex in a bathroom." In another post, she criticized fellow pro-Israel influencers who collaborated with him, writing, "Whoever gives this behavior a platform, in my opinion, has ended their career." Another influencer involved in Hasbara, or public diplomacy, on Israel's behalf, named Eden Sisson, urged Israeli women not to appear in his videos. Don't give him the attention he's looking for. If he approaches you with a camera, think twice before participating. Someone who has chosen to use Nazi slogans and symbols in the past does not deserve your trust. Another influencer named Hillel Abramowitz Silverman said she denounced a growing culture within parts of Israel's advocacy and creator community that mistakes influence for integrity. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that if someone has enough followers, we should be grateful they're willing to talk to us at all, even if they've spent years platforming hatred, extremism, or misogyny. So this is creating quite a rift in Zionist influencers, communities, and also Clavicular's own fan base, who are accusing him of being a Zionist shill himself.
Sneeko's like, bro, why you gotta do that?
I mean, I think that because no one can agree about what any of this means, he kind of comes out on top because he gets the most engagement. And he has still refused to speak out politically on any issue, domestic or otherwise. And I think that's probably the best move. Anytime that some journalist prompts him to comment on politics, he says, "That's not my arena. I'm only focused on looks maxing, and that's it." Yeah. And he probably, because he's autistic, is pretty good at avoiding the same pitfalls that we see celebrities and influencers fall into, where they, they just kind of morph into whatever their audience or the given interviewer at the moment wants them to be.
Yeah.
Anyways, Clavicular's trip to Israel ended up on a sour note. He decided to cut the trip short and leave Israel early after being attacked by Jews. He said, "People are so negative to you here, it almost makes you want to say, well, I'm not going to come back. So that's why I'm leaving."
I kind of love the anticlimactic nature of that statement. He's just like, everybody's so mean here. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. And I have barely kept up. Apparently he's in a feud with AOC right now about the merits of looks maxing.
What?
He is kind of, I have to give him credit at least for creating content and not just recycling stuff.
He is his own thing entirely.
Like, he is just making things happen.
He will have to pivot one day. One day.
To what, though?
I have no idea.
Like, what do you do when you've maximized?
Well, you have to maximize, like, I guess he could pioneer, like, looks maxing as you age. He'll be able to, like, pivot to another like side of looks maxing that will bring in a different audience.
Well, even longevity maxing has backfired on Brian Johnson after he was just diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, I believe. I mean, who knows if he instigated that himself with all of the bizarre things that he does.
Yep.
But yeah, it doesn't prove worthwhile in the long run.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Taco Bell.
Yes. Let it be known that if you catch Cyclospora from eating Taco Bell, we warned you first, okay? Now you know the risks. There is an outbreak of foodborne parasitic illness all over the country, explosive diarrhea that apparently lasts for weeks or in some cases months, and thousands of people are catching this disease, and still health officials seem to not know its origins, which is even more alarming. So Taco Bell is currently one of the sources that is under investigation. Apparently, they have surged past 3,000 cases in Michigan and Ohio. It's mostly concentrated in Michigan and Midwestern states, including Kentucky as well, and West Virginia. So watch out if you're in any of those areas. So Taco Bell is under investigation, and the Washington Post reported on this, saying health officials on the federal and state level are investigating whether Taco Bell restaurants played a role in one of the largest U.S. outbreaks of a gastrointestinal illness caused by a parasite that contaminates fresh produce. The two individuals involved in the investigation had to speak on the condition of anonymity because the investigation is ongoing into the outbreak of the infection.
I do want to point out that Taco Bell serves about 6 million customers per day. 42 million per week. So, you know,
it's kind of terrifying.
It's, well, I'm just saying more like, given the amount of people that you mentioned, how many was it? How many cases was it?
I believe it's past 3,000 in Michigan alone, but it's increasing every day. So in regard to Taco Bell in particular, one familiar with the investigation said that Taco Bell's decision to remove several fresh ingredients from some restaurant locations was an appropriate precaution. So they decided of their own volition, not under orders by the government, to recall some of their menu items. In Michigan, notices were posted at some Detroit area Taco Bells last week, telling customers the chain was currently unable to sell lettuce, cilantro, onion, pico de gallo, and guacamole due to a nationwide recall. Taco Bell corporate said it will continue to monitor the situation and follow the guidance of health authorities.
They're monitoring the situation.
They said officials have not confirmed a link to Taco Bell or any specific ingredient, supplier, restaurant, or retailer. While authorities continue their broader review, Taco Bell has voluntarily and temporarily removed limited ingredients at select restaurants as a precautionary measure. So they're trying to get ahead of it. But look, I am a rewards member of Taco Bell. I don't want this to be the case. I'm in denial as it is.
When will you feel safe going back?
Gosh, I mean, I have seen that there are low numbers of infections in Tennessee. So maybe it's going to be no more Taco Bell for me for the next several months, if not the rest of the year.
Seems fair to me.
One reply to this said, diarrhea would have to be coming out of my eyes for me to switch up on the bell. I'm so sorry.
It's time for Taco John's to make a comeback and start using this to their advantage and be like, look, I know there's less of our stores, but come to a Taco John's and you're not going to get sick.
I think people are unfairly shifting the blame to Taco Bell, though, because the CDC did issue a warning about the most common origins of Cyclospora. They listed off basil, cilantro, raspberries, snow peas, and lettuce.
Oh, no.
And washing them does not make a difference. You have to cook these foods in order to kill the parasite.
Mm-hmm.
So don't even bother at all, I would say. Just like don't even eat produce for the next like 6 months. People who have already bad diets are probably the ones who are marked safe. Unfortunately, the people among us who eat fresh produce are at the biggest risk.
I did see this one that you sent. Me, I'm going to eat healthy. Lettuce, I'm going to give you explosive diarrhea. Oreos in the pantry. I would never do that to you.
I mean, the craziest thing about it is that it's not a normal stomach bug in that it would go away in like a week's time. It's something that could debilitate you for multiple months, apparently. If this gets to the level of COVID where the majority of the population is exposed to it, I think it could be like devastating to our economy and like society in general. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to go through that again, but I would accept 2 weeks to slow the spread. You know what I mean?
We got a 20. Do you see that one there?
It's not coming up for me.
No. From Shane H. Wilder says, they are saying it seems more like it could be linked to lettuce, so avoid pre-chopped lettuce. As far as Taco Bell goes, people get diarrhea from Taco Bell are weak, and their bloodline is weak, and history will forget them.
Facts. Yeah. Taco Bell has been getting the short end of the stick for a long time. You can't blame Taco Bell for your IBS. One person brought up a meme that came out during the 2024 election. It said, on the Democrat side, everyone gets a puppy. Republicans, diarrhea forever. Elections have consequences. There is one particularly worrying theory that this is related to data centers, and not to get too conspiratorial, but it goes, clean water is being prioritized for data centers because they need it to cool their servers. And farms are instead being irrigated with dirty water, meaning water that has human feces in it. And that is what is leading, allegedly, to the Cyclospora outbreak. This happens every year. There is a Cyclospora outbreak every year in the warm seasons, but this one is way worse than any of the previous documented cases, according to doctors. So I'm treading carefully. I don't want to blame Taco Bell, but
Yeah.
I do feel comfortable blaming data centers.
That's a fair point. Somebody also posted this one. A diarrhea-causing parasite has given us more deflation than any politician.
Yeah, you can buy a pound of strawberries for 89 cents, apparently. I do not want to see any more $8 cartons of strawberries.
Yep.
Miss me with that. But I also won't be purchasing them. They're selling like these pre-bagged salads, these salad kits at the grocery store for like, I don't know, like 4 for $5 or something crazy like that, because nobody's buying them and everyone is terrified. They say stay away from fresh produce for the next week or so, even if you wash it. I would say more than a week. Like, stay away from that for the next month at the minimum if you don't want to ruin your own life.
Meanwhile, people are like, fortune favors the bold. I'm gonna save a bunch of money right now.
And man, do I miss Taco Bell already.
Yeah.
That was a staple in my lifestyle.
I never even... So the only time I ever ate lettuce on my Taco Bell is if Tim bought it for work, because then I'm just not going to pick it off.
Right.
But when I get tacos, I just get them without lettuce anyways.
But it might be contaminated regardless if it's in the same kitchen. And if people are wearing the same gloves...
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust the Taco Bell employees with my life.
I don't think the Taco Bell employee would ever hurt me. I think he's out for... He's got my
Not
best,
intentionally.
He's got my best interest at heart, and he is a stickler for the rules.
I'm gonna.
You know whose fault
probably...
this is? It's that guy who would go and prank the drive-thrus. He drove somebody insane. Put a girl on.
Oh yeah, him. Right.
He drove
right.
somebody off the edge, and now they're like, they caused this somehow.
They would intentionally poison him if they had the chance.
Yeah,
this is true.
That is
yeah,
it's a dangerous world out there, guys.
If you subsist solely on Doritos and Mountain Dew, you're probably safe. The rest of us are in trouble.
I need to get back to my old diet ASAP if I'm gonna survive.
Look, I might be overhyping it. I might be fear-mongering right now, but I'm just saying, if this does turn into a nationwide crisis, you heard it here first. Like, I was the hipster on Cyclospora. I have been telling everyone about it, and I absentmindedly did eat one salad, but I am safe for now.
Whew.
Yeah, they say it incubates for a week, and it's been a week, so I'm all right. But if I mysteriously disappear from the show for months at a time, you'll know why.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to some super chats. Let's hang out with the audience.
All right.
How's everybody doing today? I do like P-Tran's comment. He says, Doritos and Mountain Dew is a vegan diet.
That's true. Wait, no, Doritos actually surprisingly contain real dairy. It's like the whey in the Dorito dust.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't have them when I was vegan. But you can have potato chips, just plain old potato chips. Those are safe. And Oreos.
I can't bring myself to buy protein chips.
It's
They're so
the
expensive.
price is outrageous.
The price is insane.
Yeah, not worth it. If you want protein, just like eat chicken like the rest of us.
Well, but I want something that I can snack on late at night that's not like making something whole. I've been eating a lot of chicken soup at night because it's like lower calories than making something else in the frickin' microwave. But
look, I want to know what the World Economic Forum wants us to do at this point. You're gonna poison the ticks so they give us alpha gal and we can't have meat anymore. But then you're also gonna poison the fresh produce. What the hell are we supposed to eat?
They're like, I guess I'll just die then.
Right? Like, you're gonna give all the clean water to the data centers and we can't have lettuce anymore. We can't have any produce anymore. But also we're allergic to red meat because you genetically modified the ticks and infested our entire country with them. What are we supposed to do at this point? We're just allowed to eat Soylent?
That's it.
That's it?
Burned Oils member chat for a month says, if Haley gets the new diarrhea virus, she will definitely find a way to blame it on ice. She's been calling out ice at every single one of her solo shows.
Still? That's not even like a trendy topic anymore.
I mean, people
ice already completely ceased their operations at this point.
No, I mean, just the other day they stopped the automobile stops, which is how they make the majority of their arrests.
Exactly.
But before that, that was not true. They were still operating. It's just when they operate in like Democrat strongholds, you get tons of pushback. But as Tim pointed out last night on IRL, it's not riot season. Nobody's rioting. There have been 2 people shot and killed by, or more, killed by ice. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's interesting.
USAID getting defunded.
I somehow ended up on the email list for Gavin Newsom. I have no idea how that happened. And I did get an annoying text message about the shootings, but haven't seen much else about it online.
I too, like, I've never been on a single mailing list for a politician, but somehow I got like emails from Ted Cruz and Anna Paulina Luna. And
I'm like, how did I end up on Gavin Newsom's email list? I'm not even a registered Democrat.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. My data is getting sold everywhere. You know what? They released the Cyclospora so that everyone would be housebound and unable to riot. That's it.
I mean, the general consensus on IRL was that U.S. aid getting defunded was why suddenly, nobody's being paid to put up. It's not that people won't riot. It's that they're literally not paying the people whose job it was to put up the flyers and do the organizing.
Wait, but weren't the riots earlier this year?
Yeah, but it's riot season now. There should be riots all the time because it's summer.
Yeah, but if USAID got defunded last year,
and even those riots were not compared to years prior, not to the same extent.
True. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to read the super chats now. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Wednesday, Brett and Mary. Prayers for us in Texas. It's flooding and a tornado touchdown. Some have seen isolated totals up to 20 inches so far."
Wow.
Yikes. I haven't heard anything about that, but yeah, prayers up. On a lighter note, great new episode of A Internet Show. I might get canceled for how I shouted it out on X. You just make one Kunta Kinte joke. I don't get it. Sorry. Am I missing something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think that our video about fringe black guy theories just came out. So we're talking about Yaqub, Nation of Islam, the Black Hebrew Israelites, all sorts of stuff. I got an education from Kyler about all of the fringe black guy theories. One of our clips is actually going pretty viral on Instagram right now about Yaqub. I didn't realize, but I'd seen him in a ton of memes before. I just didn't know that apparently he's the creator of white people.
Yeah. We have a $20 super chat from Drummer. Says, "Could a cow get the virus and pass it down to us?" Sorry, I asked.
I don't think so.
He put a laughing while crying emoji, which makes me feel like I missed something.
Ain't nothing funny about that. That's terrifying. But yeah, I haven't heard that you can get it from anything other than produce. And it's not communicable between people. It's only if you eat contaminated food. Weary Traveler said, "Brett and Mary." Oh, you read that one earlier. Shane H. Wilder said, "The algo update is fantastic. Actually seeing the homies posts in a timely manner, seeing likes and posts from people I thought had just died." Yeah, suddenly I noticed that I was getting likes from mutuals that I hadn't seen in my notification box for months, years maybe. And I was like, wow, they like me again. But then I realized it was because of the algorithm tweak that was sorely needed on the platform. Still, it's not as fun as it used to be. I don't know if it ever will be. Maybe that's just my nostalgia talking.
Yeah.
Brian Bledsoe said, "Have you heard about these new European broadcasting guidelines on camera angles for women athletes?"
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw something about it, but I didn't read into it very much. Is it just they don't want to do the slow motion replays that show female athletes from a certain angle?
Yeah. I mean that's the point, right? They're trying to limit shots that could be considered gratuitous.
Well, it's a question of whether they think there was a premeditation on the part of the editors who put those clips together.
Remember, did I send you that video of that, like, those Instagram skits from the guy who's like, "I'm the editor for Euphoria." Yeah, and then it's
he just has to watch like 12 hours of sex scenes.
But after I saw that,
you're down to 1 hour.
After I saw that, that stuff being passed, I sold all my stocks in beach volleyball. I'm not gonna support beach volleyball anymore.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I clipped Brett on Dua Lipa and Mary entering her villain arc. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I tagged y'all in both. Thank you for that."
Look, women.
We're just putting together our dossier.
Women can be smart, okay? I know.
They just can't be hot and smart.
Like it's like the opposite of pick a struggle.
Smart. They just have to be ugly. Yeah, it's fine.
That's what my teachers told me.
Shane H. Wilder said Ariana could have been a gender-swapped Skeletor. As far as Somber goes, even Iggy Pop is like, "Dude, can I get you a sandwich?" Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if he's literally still going through puberty, it's a totally different conversation. Whereas Ariana Grande has been photographed and documented for over a decade at this point, and definitely for the majority of her career was not at this low weight. So there's proof that it's not naturally occurring.
Andy Panda in the chat says, why isn't Brett gun maxing in his tank top? It is 97 degrees here, and there is still no air conditioning in this studio. I have 2 fans on me, so much so that I'm surprised you guys can't hear it. But also, the curtain that normally goes behind you when you sat across from me is open. So people just have to deal with being able to hear me because I need to be able to get some of the air that comes down from the offices upstairs, which have their own dedicated AC units. Luckily, the bats are gone, though.
Yeah, what happened to the bats? Are they dead?
I don't know. I mean, they were there on...
I was just about to ask about them.
They were there on the Friday. I don't know if maybe there was no babies. Maybe it was just adults, and they were hiding from the rain that day.
You think they escaped?
Yes. Well, they had to get down there somehow.
Because I thought the problem in the first place was the first time this happened, they could get in, but they couldn't get out.
No, it was that the babies were there and couldn't get out because they were babies. They couldn't fly.
Oh, okay.
The idea was to create, they make like a vent that can be made that you can get out, but you can't then get back in.
Okay.
So.
Well, I was just slightly worried that there are a bunch of dead bats in there, which would be disgusting.
The AC is getting fixed, by the way. It's just like it's like a warranty issue on the AC unit they have here for this building, so it's just taking forever, unfortunately. But it will get done. This is like the one place that doesn't have it. But it's I'm gonna say it's pretty decent in here. That one day was really, really bad.
It's been way hotter on your end than over here in Nashville. It's been in the mid-80s.
Yeah, and it was like the 80s last week. It was perfect. It was really nice out last week.
But the problem, as I told you before, is that it keeps raining during just like windows of the day instead of picking a day to rain. So I've just been like unsure of when to leave the house constantly.
That would suck too, especially if you're like me and you actually like doing cardio or exercising now. It's like, what would happen for me? It would only rain like right when I got off work and I was going to go run. And then of course it'll be done right when I got to be done.
Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that because I don't exercise anymore. Alejandro Reyes said, I loved that trailer. What? Oh,
you liked the trailer for the Ariana Grande lookalike documentary? That's insane,
Oh,
bro.
I thought we were talking about some other trailer. I was like, it couldn't possibly be that one.
We are going to talk about the shitty teaser tomorrow for the Batman, the 8-second teaser.
Is it actually 8 seconds?
No,
I didn't watch it.
It's like 30. It's like 30 seconds long.
Is that just like them throwing the fans a treat so they don't riot because of the delay?
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out in 2025, then it was supposed to come out in 2026, then it was supposed to come out in 2027. Now, wait till 2028, pleb.
That's horrible. What? 7 years in between?
And he's supposed to be
crazy.
like young Batman. Meanwhile, Robert Pattinson's going to be he's going to have to do Batman Beyond by the time this is done. And
he's already middle-aged, is he not?
He is. He's older.
Isn't he
than
in
me.
his 40s at this point? Or am I wrong?
I'm 40, so he's got to be in his mid-40s. I bet he's like 45.
Really? Wait, let me look. He was born in 86.
Oh, he's my age then, so he's 40.
Yeah, he's 40. Right, yeah.
It's always depressing when you see those celebrities who are like really successful and they're the same age as you, and even worse when they're younger.
Shane H. Wilder said, I saw the unbearable lightness of being on the list. It was never banned. Its distribution was just restricted in commie Czechoslovakia. Yeah, clearly they were using banned in a fast and loose way. I think they mentioned in a promotional video that Animal Farm was, of course, interpreted as anti-communist literature, but 1984, on the other hand, was campaigned against by parents in the United States for being allegedly pro-communist. And then it was, I guess, banned in some schools. I mean, they're literally just like fighting for the right to put pornography in elementary school libraries. Like that's the those are the actually banned books that everyone is talking about. It's just like
genderqueer.
Here's a picture book about how to hook up with strange men on Grindr, little kids. Like that's like, here's a blowjob tutorial with pictures. And they're like, you're banning books. Yeah. Like
right-wing censorship.
It's not a real conversation. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, I can think of a ton of books that were banned, not on her list. The Power and the Glory, Lord of the Rings, The Diary of Saint Faustina, even Chronicles of Narnia. I didn't know that about Chronicles of Narnia, that was ever banned or censored in some way. Same with Lord of the Rings. And I did know about The Diary of Saint Faustina. I know that a lot of trad caths have a distaste for Saint Faustina and for the Divine Mercy devotion, but I've never really gone down that rabbit hole as to why. But I do know that her diary was banned by the church for a long time. I think it was John Paul II that reversed that decision, partly because he's Polish. Oh my gosh, I feel bad. I forgot how to pronounce this name again. You know what? I'm just gonna call you DeStefano because I know I got your last name right. How about that? Yeah. I hope you're feeling better after your cold last Friday, Mary. Be careful not to catch the cyclosporiasis going around. Yeah, I'll try my best to avoid it if I can. The cold thing was weird because I felt sick like the way you do when the next week of your life is going to be hell. And then the next day, it kind of just, it wasn't gone for another few days, but it never got worse. That's never happened to me before, but someone did tell me it's because I have a great immune system. So, as I said before, eating dirt and eating off the table really helped me in that situation. Okay, do we have any more super chats or
I'm double checking.
Rumble rants?
I think we're all caught up on Rumble rants. Let me double check. I wanna... Oh no, we do have a Rumble rant here from Mr. Bledsoe. Says, I'm one of those people that loves cilantro, so I might be playing Russian roulette with explosive diarrhea when I go to Chipotle for a while. Whoa. Thank you for that.
That was a really loud car.
That was.
Anyways, I want to make sure that I bring this up before we conclude the stream today. So over on A Internet Show, we are going to go live tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, which would be 1:30 Eastern. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because you're an hour ahead of me. So that's 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. We're going live before PCC tomorrow. We'll definitely have ended our stream before PCC begins. Hence why I bring it up. So it's going to be an AMA. And Kyler and I are going to be giving out free and correct financial, love, dating, relationships, and life advice. Everything that you can think of, ask away. We just put up a community post on the channel. So if you have any questions, send them our way and we'll be sure to solve all of your problems, I guess. If you trust us with that amount of power. We'll be interacting with the chat, reading whatever super chats we get, or just sitting in silence, whatever strikes our fancy at the moment. So that'll be 12:30 Central Time tomorrow. I did put up a post on my story yesterday soliciting some of those advice questions, and they did not disappoint. I got some very quick responses. In fact, I wanted to just read off a few of them that I got yesterday because it was funny. One asked, do good women exist? It's not really an advice question. And then how does one deal with a breakup when both parties share mutual friends? Everyone's been there, right? Where should I invest or get additional sources of income? I'm very qualified to speak on that subject. Some people misunderstood the prompt and thought I was asking for advice. which was interesting as well. The only advice that I can give is to stop dating. These hoes are for the streets, said one. Another question was, what's the best way to meet new people and find a partner when you live in a small town? So there were tons of questions about dating for the most part, but also if you're having financial woes, we're going to be the next Dave Ramsey. We're going to get you out of debt. And I'm not going to spoil anything by giving answers to those questions right now. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow and see what we say. Those are some age-old questions right there.
All right. Where did we leave off on Super Chats?
Last one was from DeStefano.
Okay, I'm back.
About cyclosporiasis.
Greg Duvier. Do you have these up to Greg Duvier?
No. I mean, maybe I need to sign into the...
Yeah, it might have signed you out. So
again?
Greg Duvier says, eat meat and cheese taco and you will be fine.
Not if they're using the same gloves. All right, I'm just saying.
Manic Attack says, everything already gives me diarrhea, so I'll risk it.
Oh. That seems like a problem that you need to investigate further.
They make doctors.
Okay, we've got the spreadsheet open now. Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, my Taco Bell knows me on a first name basis, and I have to have my Monday PCC Taco Bell. It's been my tradition for years. Monday instead of Tuesday. I'm surprised. And then Bossen said $2 for Conspiracy Queen Mary the Victorian Ghost. Thank you. You got creative with that today. High Voltage 75 said, you will eat the bugs and be happy. Yeah, I guess that's our only choice now.
Seems like it.
Drummer 8725 said, could a cow get the virus? Oh, I think you asked that one.
Yeah.
Before. Bossen said, Mary, which is funnier, Arrested Development or Frasier? Ooh, I mean, I know that if I had to give one up, it would be Arrested Development, even though I like that show as well. Frasier is it's just on a different, like, intellectual plane. You, like, have to be a certain IQ to understand Frasier. Arrested Development is a little bit more pedestrian, if you ask me. Still a great show, though. I would keep Frasier, though, overall. Pat the Plumber said, my lungs want reparations from Canada. It's smoky AF in Boston. Is this happening again where, like, wildfires are sending smoke into the Northeast? I haven't heard about it. Shane H. Wilder said Kunta Kinte was the black character from Roots, the one who they tried to call Toby, so the internet show Shilling I did was racist. We were careful not to overstep any boundaries, of course, talking about the fringe black guy theories. It was with all respect. Corey Anderson said the chronic Kles of Narnia?
Yeah, I read that and I said, what?
I'm confused.
I was too.
It's just the Chronicles of Narnia. Jesse Guess said, unpopular opinion, I actually really liked Rings of Power and the animated movie War of the Rohirrim? Rohirrim? Yeah. The stories are great and they get pretty dark. Big Lord of the Rings fan, but not a purist. It's not that serious. You would definitely, that is definitely an unpopular opinion.
That is a hot take for most in the space. So
you would get flamed for that by the fans on X for sure.
I applaud you standing on business.
Similar vibes to that take about the Odyssey that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Look, it's fine. Like what you like. I do think it's quite serious because the creator of that story in that universe doesn't have the power to like speak on it anymore and doesn't have any creative hand in what they're making now. And I didn't care for Rings of Power personally, but I do think it's quite serious, like the quality of stories that we have. Pop Culture Junkie sent a 20. Mary from Monday, best time to visit Disney is second week in September through second week in November. It's like the planet Mercury now until then. Plan time to see Orlando too. Cool places to see and great restaurants too. Well, if you have any recommendations, send them over. I have been to Orlando once before, and the only thing I remember doing there is I went to Disney Springs. I was only there for like 2 days. So I didn't see much of it. And I also didn't have any money.
How long ago was that?
I guess 5 years ago. Yeah. That was when I was still in college.
I think we are all caught up on super chats and all that. I would have
thought that season would be more popular though because of their Halloween events, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Universal does it better anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to go to Universal more than Disney.
Universal seems more your speed.
Also, apparently they just raised the prices of all of the food at Disney parks and like didn't announce it.
I mean, even not raised, it's too expensive.
They're like, fuck, Moana flopped. We have to raise prices on our already shitty food.
Like even if it didn't go through another price hike, it would still be too expensive. As are most things at
it was too expensive as it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be baking in the sun in Disney.
Yeah, how will you be able to do that when it's gonna, bake the skin?
Gotta bring the parasol if they allow it. I mean, I have it as I've been walking around with this, like some people have thought that I was carrying a gun for some reason. Like it's an umbrella, bro.
Corey Anderson says, I take it neither of you have heard the Chronicles of Narnia song by The Lonely Island. No, I have not. And I've heard plenty of
Brett to know it.
Yeah, you would have thought. I mean, even if I had, something typed out like that doesn't necessarily translate. You're literally saying it to yourself in your head while you're typing it out. That does not mean that somebody else is gonna catch that.
Go off.
Shane H. Wilder says, well, I guess I'll have to listen to a internet show while driving to work tomorrow. I left a few questions. As for Monday, TB, Monday, Taco Bell. I'm off then. He's off work, so I think is what he's saying. Is that he's off work at that time, therefore it's part of his tradition. I have not, we had Taco Bell a couple of weeks back, but I get the Sheetz street tacos. Super good. Not like the crappy hard shell ones. I'm telling you.
What?
Yep, they have street tacos.
I could have sworn that I tried tacos at Sheetz. I don't have Sheetz anymore.
Yeah. This is a fairly recent thing within the last 6 months that they started making.
Okay, because the ones that I tried were awful.
Yeah.
And I don't even have high standards. And they also weren't even shaped like tacos. They were empanadas.
These are not those.
Called tacos.
These are not those.
Okay, maybe they've improved their game since then.
They're soft shell, not
when they had fried Oreos.
They're soft shell, not hard shell.
They used to have fried Oreos at Sheetz, and now they've gotten rid of that a long time ago.
Yep.
I really wish there were Sheetz in Nashville, but unfortunately,
what do they have there if not Sheetz?
They don't have any of them really. I haven't seen a Royal Farms or any of those sorts of things. Just Shell and Exxon, whatever.
Yeah,
that sort of
I
thing.
don't ever go to the Royal Farms. I
don't have to drive as often or as long as I used to.
Yeah.
So it's not as big of a deal. I just only felt safe for a while going to Sheetz. And
Why? 'Cause it was brightly lit?
Brightly lit, it doesn't feel like you're at a truck stop with a bunch of dangerous strangers. Like, it just feels a little more. Am I wrong about that? It just feels safe.
You're probably wrong in this area. You're probably fine. Yeah. But
yeah.
You're also going to have a larger selection if you're going in to buy things from the actual store.
True.
But I go to the Wawa once in a while. They built a Wawa over in Ranson. It's huge. So I go to that one every so often, but for the most part, it's just Sheetz. And then I go to a different place to get gas on the way to work because it's also cheaper in West Virginia.
Must say, I think Buc-ee's is kind of overrated. Don't attack me.
Wait, why? Just because this, nothing could be that great given how much
it's really, I don't know why. I was just underwhelmed. Or maybe I was just whelmed.
I had some of the Buc-ee's beaver nuggets, the snacks.
Those are good.
And
they're fine.
I overate them the other day.
They're fine. Okay, it's easy to eat too many of them, but like, it just feels overhyped to me because people like the logo.
Yeah,
they like the mascot. Cheats doesn't have that. Why doesn't Cheats have a mascot?
They have like a weird sort of psychedelic art style.
Oh wait, they do have a mascot. It's just like unintelligible.
I don't even know if it's a mascot. They literally just put like generic actors like playing, you know, employees having the biggest smile you've ever seen a gas station employee ever have in their ads.
Yeah,
they're the happiest looking. They're the happiest looking people you've ever seen.
All of the ads are kind of gross and are basically telling you that you're a piece of shit for eating at Sheetz, which is fine. I appreciate that. It's their brand.
High Voltage 75 says you have In-N-Out. That's all you need.
I don't know. I tried In-N-Out one time on a visit to Santa Barbara. It was fine. It was nothing special. The fries weren't that good. And even if I wanted to go to the In-N-Out here, I would probably have to wait in line for like an hour because it's constantly overrun. Yeah. And nothing is worth, not even a good burger is worth that. So probably not going to go there anytime soon.
We got one more from Brian Bledsoe who says, Michelle, is it Jenicky? Races were top peak boo EU. So he's talking about the bands on camera angles, I'm guessing.
Okay, so are you proving them right in thinking that they were doing slow-mo shots for untoward reasons? That's what it sounds like.
They're gonna have the Gooner cut that they'll release afterwards that you have to buy. It's gonna be put behind a paywall.
Because like I understand if people were saying like we weren't watching it for objectifying reasons. We wanted to see the slow-mos. We care about the game.
Yes.
But you're just admitting that that's what they were for. So then you're validating the decision.
Yeah.
I will say I am totally behind the under 16s social media ban.
Well, so we did a topic about that yesterday, and seemingly about 6 out of 10 parents were as well, saying that they supported it.
And I know there are repercussions.
I don't know if those were parents or if it was just 6 out of 10 of the Americans that they surveyed, but it did say like a higher amount of parents supported it than non-parents. Shocking, I know.
Here's what they should do in the UK. Keep the social media ban, abolish the cigarette ban. The cigarette ban for, what was it, people born after like 2005 or something?
That was 2008. Am I wrong about that?
Was it 2008?
I could be wrong about that.
I forget which year it was. That is insane. I do think that is overreach. And they're obviously, if they want to smoke cigarettes, they're going to get them somewhere. There's already a black market for them since the change to 21 here. Under 21s smoke all the time here. So yeah, let the kids smoke cigarettes and take their phones away. Everyone wins.
All right. Let me make sure I'm caught up over on Rumble here as well. See how everybody is doing. I wonder if people are going to sit there and argue about the EU's, best practices when it comes to women's sports, but seemingly that is not what they are arguing about there. All right. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episode out with everybody in your life that you like and the ones that you don't like as well. The more people that you share our show with, the better off we are. So thank you guys so much for that. Also, we're getting dangerously close to a Cyber Crisis party. If anybody wants to do that before we end the episode, I could just do the NPR outro.
I was about to say, I think we're $15 away.
Getting there.
From the second party. Anyways, you guys can send me validation on Instagram. That is Mary Archived. Or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. I might be more likely to see it now that we have a new algorithm. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. And don't forget to tune in to our stream over on a internet show tomorrow. That is at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, before PCC starts. And we'll be answering all of your advice questions and negging the audience.
All right, we got a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, optimal Disney time is mid-October. Orlando restaurants, the tap room at Dub's Bread Golf Course, World of Beer, great view of the beautiful Lake Enola. Is it Aola? Lake Eola?
Don't know.
Expansive but good. Oh, expensive but good. The Pinery. It was a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know anything about because I haven't been to any of that. It sounds expensive to me.
If I visit any of them, I'll report back, but I don't know if I can afford the type of dining that Pop Culture Junkie enjoys.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in that tax bracket.
Indeed. All right. If you guys want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch our show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, which is a great way to help us out. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We have one more here from it looks like it's Ercoli. Says sounds like Ercoli. Mary, you'll get it right.
Ercoli.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I've said it out loud, it'll be more in my memory.
He says, I have faith in you. I'll be around.
Thank
All
you.
right. Guys, we are about to head out, so stay tuned for a post-credit crisis party. Should be coming any second. We will see you guys tomorrow. Later.
Bye. Thank you.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.